Hey there guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the bikes that is in my backyard. As you can see, we're not in my backyard, we're actually at my fiance's farm. If you watch my last video on the Apollo bike here, we are basically doing the same thing. So I brought my Titan out here. This is a 2022 Titan 250 that I got off Facebook for 400 bucks. When I got this bike, again, I just had to put very minimal work into it. The front end was kind of cocked, so I had to reassemble the whole front end. So I took the bearings off, greased the bearings. Because it was most likely dropped, the handlebars were bent. So I got a new set of handlebars, my favorite grips that y'all know. And that's good. And then obviously I put my favorite carburetor on here, those PWK. But this one's a 28 millimeter carburetor. The one on my Hawk 250 is a 30 millimeter carburetor, but it's the same design. They just changed the intake a little bit smaller. Air filter comes in the kit, so it gives you everything. Gives you jets, carburetor, and air filter, and I think the intake manifold as well. So that's really nice. This is just a KTM muffler I have off my 450. I stole the original muffler off this bike for a different project. That's coming up in a later video. But this muffler actually slides right on to the existing pipe with no modifications at all. Lines up with the same bolt hole, everything. So that was really nice. And I think a big reason for that is the Chinese brands or whatever, they basically get the rights to an older KTM frames. Because my fiance's brother has a 2014 250, 2017, something like that. And the frame and all the subframe, all that looks super similar. Obviously, they're going to have a little bit of differences because it's a different engine. But as far as the framework and how everything's mounted, it looks super similar to his bike. But yeah, I haven't really done too many modifications outside of just really fixing it up from when I got it. With the review of the bike out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and bring y'all along on a few sight laps around this track. Alright guys, sitting here in the cockpit of the bike, one thing I forgot to mention that is very overlooked is this bike does come with electric start, but it also comes with a Kickstarter, which is really nice. Bike's already warmed up here. Well, I'm going to get a finicky with this key a little bit. Fires right up with electric start. Alright guys, we're going to run over to the jump/start line for our sight laps. Alrighty guys, we are here at the start line. Engine is running. First gear. Again, these first few laps are just going to be some sight laps of the track, just so you guys can see what it looks like and the conditions. We're not going to be doing any fast pace. Really dry out here, really rocky. We are in kind of a northwest part of Houston. We're going to be in a northwest part of Texas. So it's very dry up here, especially if it doesn't rain for a while. It just makes the problem even worse. So yeah, we're just cruising around here. Beautiful land, beautiful runway here to practice wheelies. On the 450s and stuff, we normally go out on the streets here. It's all dirt roads, we're not doing nothing illegal. And just having a little fun. So that's going to be our first one. Do one more. Standing up, kind of giving you guys a perspective of what the track looks like. Again, a little rocky there. So really, it's a really dry track for sure. Oh, ran out of the berm. Little hill. Yeah, I'm just in fourth gear, putting around. Oh, that just hit my head. Alrighty guys, a couple side laps are over. We're gonna try to put in 3 hot laps. So I'm not gonna do any talking. I'm gonna really try to ride the fastest I can on this bike. Alrighty guys, enjoy these next few laps. Watch my last video, man, this bike is putting down probably twice the power that other one is. The Apollo, the DBX 18, this thing's pushing twice the power, so it's probably pushing close to 15, 16. Right, I've got a non-restrictive exhaust. I've got a power carburetor, almost on wide open throttle all the time. Running at, on that Richmond circuit, not Richmond circuit, the power jet or whatever. And man, you can really feel a big step up in power from this compared to that. It's got more power, twice the power, and another gear. You can really just get more comfortable. And again, you just take this bike always on the rev limiter here almost. Like I'm jumping twice as far as the other bike. I'm trying to give it as wide open as I can get it. Alrighty guys, we just finished up our hot laps. This bike is nothing but fun out there. Obviously it's not gonna feel like a name brand bike, but for a Chinese made bike and Chinese components, man, it really feels really good. The power, like I said, is definitely twice the power of those 125s, which makes sense. It's twice the size of the engine, but man, these things are a lot of fun. If you're looking at, if you're a new rider or you're looking at, upgrading from that, this is definitely where I would be at. One of these, the 250s are definitely a step up. And just for around this track here, it's got plenty of power. I've yet to run out of top of 5th gear. So it's definitely, for this size of track, it's definitely very nice. I have never taken this out on a supercross track or, one of those places that actually have big jumps and stuff like that. So I can't tell you, if it'll be good out there. If I'm being honest, it probably won't be, just because how much power this thing makes. It really, the 250s and stuff, they're pushing probably 45, 50 horsepower. This thing's putting a third of that down. So unless, but again, this would also be a good bike if you're trying to learn to carry momentum, right? This doesn't have the power. You might need to carry momentum through the corners. But overall, a very good bike in my opinion, as long as you stay within its limits. If you try to push it outside of its limits, I think you're going to get disappointed pretty quickly. But again, I know where this lies, so I'm really happy with it. One last thing I forgot to mention. The first thing I would do is if you get these bikes and you're like, oh, I'm going to start jumping it now, I'm going to build my way up to jumping. You definitely want to swap the fork oil out. It's super simple. I'll have to post a video on how to do it at a later time, but it's super simple. You just pop these caps off and you just pour it out, cycle the action a few times, and then pretty much slap it back together. And obviously just measure how much fluid came out. But it's a really easy task. You're gonna spend more time getting it off the bike than the actual service itself. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.